Question 5. First of all, let's try to understand the graph first. First, in this graph, horizontally, what does this line represent, Bernice? In this graph, horizontally, what does it represent? Yeah, the time. Now, in each interval, how many times does it represent? 1 hour. Excellent. So horizontally represent the time in hours. How about vertically, Zhi Qi? How many flowers are sold? Now, for each interval, how many flowers does it represent? You can check out your paper, your handout to count. So, from 25 to 0, there are how many intervals? 5 intervals. So, each interval represents how much? You see? From 0 to 25. Sorry? 5. Very good. So, each interval over here represents actually 5 flowers. Alright, now question. Let's say, let me ask a question to Rachel. In 12 o'clock, how many flowers are sold? 50, very good. Now, how do you know it's 50? From 12 o'clock, draw a vertical line up. Up, until you meet this point. And then, draw a horizontal line to the left. Left, 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 left. And meet 50, so the answer is 50. Alright, let me ask again for, let's say, Bernice. When there are 70 flowers sold, alright, how about when there are 65 flowers sold, what is the time? First of all, what should we do first? When there are 65 flowers sold. Draw a bar, draw a... Now, first of all, let's try to find out where is 65 here. 75? So, this is what value? So each interval represents 5, right? So, 75. If I move one interval down, what is it? 70. How about this one? 17. 65. So, our first step is to find out where is 65, right? Now here is 65. So when there are 65 flowers sold, how do I find out the time? Again, Bernice. After you know this is 65, what should we do next? Yeah, we draw until this line. Right? So draw horizontal line here until it meets the black dot. Ooh. Okay, now you meet the black dot, what should we do next? Draw vertically down. Excellent. So draw this line vertically down. So what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. Excellent. Alright, so now you understand this. Let's take a look at question 1. At what time had the flowers sold half the total number of flowers sold that day? Alright, try by yourself. Okay, actually you can try out question A, question C, alright? So try out these 3 questions by yourself. How long? That depends how fast it's going. Alright, like around 5 minutes. But I think you don't need 5 minutes because I know you're all very smart kids. Why not? Okay, I'll give it another 1 minute, alright? So after that, I'll announce the answer. Okay, time's up. Now let's take a look at that ball, alright? Now question A, at what time had the flowers sold half of the total number of flowers sold that day? Lucy, you think hand? At 12 o'clock. How do you get 12 o'clock? In total, he sold 100. No, this is 100. The sheep sold actually 100 at the time of 16. No, so at the time of 4 o'clock in the afternoon, how much flowers did he sold? 80, very good. No, he sold 80. So in total he sold 80, right? Now what is the half of the amount of flowers he sold? Half of 80, right? So it is. So 80, first of all, 80 divided by 2, you get 40. Now let's check what time he sold 40 flowers. First of all, you try to find out, this is 40, right? Now let's check if it's 10 o'clock, okay? Draw a horizontal line until you reach this point, and you draw a vertical line down. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. So this answer here is 10 o'clock. Alright. Let's take a look at question B this time. Everybody, take a look at that board. Now, during which 1 hour interval was there no flower sold? What is the answer? Helen? Yeah. What does no flower sold mean? Yeah, it's a flat. So it's there are no increase. Yeah, 14 to 15. Alright. Any question with that? So no flower sold means there are the line does not increase. So it's the same number from 14 all the way to 15. That remains the same. So question B is 14 to 15 o'clock. Okay. From 14 to 15 o'clock. Alright, never mind. Okay, I'll use a 2 to represent it. Alright. Okay, question C. Now, question C is a real problem for you. I saw that a lot of you add the numbers together. Okay, so we're trying to find out the average number of flowers sold per hour from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, first of all, to find out the average, what do we need to know? Richard? The total. So how do I know the total sold from 11 all the way to 16? You mean add these numbers together? Okay, but you see, this number represents the total amount of flowers sold from 8 o'clock, right? So if at 4 o'clock in the afternoon I sold in total 80 flowers, now at, let's say, 11 o'clock in total I sold, let's say this is 45 number of flowers. From 11 to 4, how many flowers I sold? You have any idea, Charlotte? I saw you have a so? Okay, never mind. Prince, you're raising hand. You got any idea? 280. Okay, so you get this answer by adding 45 and this number, this number, this number, and this number up, right? But remember, so at 4 o'clock I have in total sold 80. At 11 o'clock in total I sold 45. So in between this amount, how many flowers I sold? Can you find it by other operations? Now another hint is not 380, okay? Okay, let me give you another example, right? So, at a time when I was selling the oranges, alright? So, at first, I have, let's say, I sold only 5 oranges. Now, at the last, like 9 p.m. at night, I sold in total 55 oranges. Yeah, you see, I have a lot of oranges. So, in this process, how many oranges did I in total sell? 55 minus 5, right? So the total amount of oranges I had sold in last minus the amount of oranges I sold at first. Now, if I know at last I have 80 oranges, at first I have 45 oranges. Yes, why are you raising your hand? 80 minus 45, yes. So in this process, you have sell 80 minus 45 number of flowers. Now this is the total number. This will give you 35. And then how do we find out the average? If I find out the total amount, how to find out the average? So recall how to find out the average. Yeah, plus to get a total and then divide it by the number, right? So now I get a total. The total amount of flower is 35. Now in this interval, how many hours are there? From 11 all the way to 16. How many hours are there? 5. Perfect. Now see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. So the next step, 35 divided by 5. You get 7 flowers per hour. And 7 is the answer. Okay. So remember to find out the amount of flowers sold, use the total number of flowers sold at last minus the total number of flowers sold at first. Okay. Now the answer here is 7. Alright. So I'll erase this now. Let's move on to the next question. Alright. No, this summary is again use the two-line method. It's the same thing, yeah. So again, use the two-line method to locate the data. Yes. Oh, that's actually the average equation, right? So average equals total divided by the number. Now, I think that like don't need to be summarized, right? So it's just a small trick. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. And next, we'll be taking a look at the Newton test. Ruler? What? The big ruler. Okay, I don't need it now. Alright, so for the next question, first of all, let me. Yeah, oh, you know pie chart. Alright, first of all, again, let's take a look at an example. Let's say in a survey on the favorite color of the children, alright? So we have three children, we have three colors in total. So we have, let's say this is red, alright? Red and this is blue. And you get another one. This is yellow. Now we have 5 people who like red. We have 3 people who like blue and 2 people who like yellow. Alright. So in this survey, there are in total 10 students. 5 students like red, 3 students like blue, and 2 students like yellow. Now, of course, you can use a bar graph to represent this scenario, right? But we can also represent this in a circle. Now, let me draw a circle. Oh, right. So I want to represent this in a circle. First of all, let's think about this. In total, how many students are there? Class? In this survey, how many students are there? 10 students. So if I'm going to separate this circle equally, I need to separate it into how many parts? So each people will get a small part of it. I need to separate this circle into 10 subparts, right? So let me separate this into 10 subparts. Each student represents one of it. Oh, oops. Alright, never mind. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there are 10 subparts now. Each student take out one of the subparts. Now think about it for the red color. How many students like it? 5 students. So the 5 students take out how many subparts? See? 5. So we draw a 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so these 5 students take up 5 subparts. How about the blue color? How many students like blue? 3. So we need to cover 3 subparts, right? 1. Oh, okay. So in the future I'll use this more. Okay, so blue we have 3 students who like it. Okay, I'm glad also Charlotte like it. Alright, so Charlotte is another person who like it. Alright, how about the yellow one? There are 2 students who like it, right? There are still 2 students who like it. So here we have a bar graph. We can also represent it as a circle. Now we call this circle the pie chart because it looks like a pie. So we call this the pie chart. Alright. Now in reality, you don't need to separate this into 10 parts. For inside this red color, you don't need to separate it into subparts. So in reality, we can draw this pie chart like this. So you get something for the blue part and for the yellow part. Alright, for the yellow one, like this. So I'll use different colors to represent it. Now this is for the red one. there are 5 students. There are 3 students. Okay, now if we ignore the numbers, Ziqi, can you tell me which color is the most popular color here? The red color, very good. Because the red take up a large part of it. The red is the largest pie here. Right, so the pie chart is for you to see their relationship directly. You see here, the red take out a lot of parts, so it's the largest, it's a favorite color. Alright, then you see that this red color take up half of this pie, right? If I'm going to represent it as a fraction, what fraction can I represent this red color pie? Please, any idea? 1/2, excellent. Because first of all, you have 5 parts, right? So you can write it as 5/10. Also, you can write it as 1/2. So this red parts, you can also write it as 1/2. It's half, right? The red take up half of the circle. Then how about the blue one? Can I represent it as a fraction? What fraction can I represent? 3/10, very good. So this blue color can be written as 3/10. How about the yellow ones? 2/. In total, how many parts of it? 10. Very good. So also equals to what? One over 5, very good. So this is 1/5. So you also see a graph like this. But remember, this fraction does not represent the actual value. It represents how many parts you take in terms of the total pie chart. Alright, so this 1/2 represents this red color take up half of the whole pie. Okay, so the whole circle represents the total number of students in this case. Alright, now you can try out question 6 by yourself. Okay. Alright, let's continue. So you're all getting correct, so I'll just fast forward it. First of all, how many mystery books more are there than the comic books? So mystery book we have 9 books, right? Comic book we have 6 books. So 9 plus minus 6 equals to 3 books. That is the answer. Oh, 9 minus 6 equals 3. Oh, okay. Okay, so question B. What fraction of the books sold were comic books? Later I'll explain over. Comic books. Now, first of all, you have 6 comic books, right? In total, there are 60 books. See here, 60 books. So the fraction is 1/10. All right, let's move on to the next question.
Oh my God.
What?
I never see 60 grams.
Oh, all right. A big sum for your calculation skills. Alright, so moving on. Previously you saw that in a pie chart, we can have some number on it and then we can convert it to fraction, right? Now, let me give you an example. If you have fraction, how to convert it, how to find out the exact value of it. Let's say, again, we have some value over here. Now, this is 1/14. Now, this is 2/7. And the rest is 9/14. Alright, so let's say 9/14 students like this purple, and 2/7 of students like red, and the rest like yellow. We know that in total there are 14 students who attend this survey. Now, how do I find out, let's say, the number of students who like yellow? Any idea how to find out this? 1/14 out of 14 students like yellow. So, how many students like yellow? 1. How to know it's 1? Yeah, 14 is the total. So 1/14 it represents if you have 14 subparts, you take 1 of it, right? So you have 14 subparts, that means your 14 units. In total you have 14 units. This 14 units is equivalent to 14 students. So 1 unit equals to 14 divided by 14, you get 1. So now there are 1 students who like yellow. How about for the red color? How do I find this out? How do I find out, Rishi?
7 times 2 and 2 times 3. So equals 4 and 14. That means 4 students.
Yes. So to find this out, we can see that there are 2 out of 7 students who like the red, but in total you have 14 students. So the first step, see here, let's convert this 7 into 14. So 2/7 equals to what over 14? What is? 4/14. So that means if you have 14 subparts, you take 4 out of it. So there are 4 students who like red. And how about for purple? How many students like the purple color? 9, very good. There are 9 students who like purple. So in short, let's say if you're going to find out from the fraction how many students are there in reality, first of all, change your denominator into the number of students here. Now let me give you another example. This time, let's say this is 18 over, okay, never mind. 8/18, and the rest is 10/18. Now we know that there are 36 students in total. So how many students like the purple color? How do I find this out? This time let me ask Charlotte. Sorry? 36 students are in total, right?
18 times
So can you tell me the first step we should do? Yeah, I'm going to change the denominator to what number?
36.
To 36, excellent. So to find out how many students like purple, the first step, you change the denominator, is 80 into 36. Alright, so 8 over 80 equals to 1 over 36. Shall
Times 2.
Times 2, excellent. So this becomes 16. So there are how many students who like purple? 16 students like purple. Alright, how about this one? How many students who like red? Bernice, how do I find this out? Yeah, it was 20 over 36. So how many students like red? 20 students, excellent. So yeah, that's how you find out from the fraction. Now can you try out question 7 by yourself? Try out your question 7. Oh, so in total there are 50. You're trying to find out in total there are 50. Oh, now Okay, so let's take a look at the answer for question 7. Now, how many swordtails are there? There are 2 out of 10 of swordtails. But in total, there are 50 number of fishes in total. How do I find out the number of swordtails here? Ashad? Change the denominator to what? 50
So we times 5.
times 5 to get 10, right? So for the swordtails, you get 10. How about for this angelfish, Bernice? I need to change it to what? 15 over 50. So for the angelfish, you get 15 of it. How about for the this one? What guppies? Ziqi? Or groupies?
Times 5.
That's 5, very good. So you get 25 out of 50. So there are 25 of the fish. So that will be the answer. So in short, if you are given a fraction to find out the actual number, try to change the denominator to the number of the total, right? So
So you have something here.
yeah, for example now, if you are given the fraction to find the value, now the first thing you should do is to change, okay, you adjust the denominator. Alright, now you write down this and we'll move forward to the last question. Yay! So happy to see you. Huh? After last question, then go through for class quiz and after class quiz, and then until tomorrow's morning. No. And okay, never mind. Okay, so right, finish it. Okay, so let's take a look at the last question. But before that, first of all, you see here, if I have a circle, right? If I'm going to separate this circle into half, what should we do? Class. Like if I have a circle, I want to separate this into half. Should I? Cut into half, yes. So we draw a line through the middle point, and never mind. Let me change this. Let me make this point larger. Alright, and then you get half of circles. What if I still want to change separate it into four parts? What should I do next? Again, split into half. Very good. So I draw a horizontal line and split this into half. Now there are four equal parts, right? So let's recall, if you have a circle from a line here, if I turn around and go back to the same place, how many degrees does it turn? A whole round. What is the number of degrees in total? Sorry? 100. Remember, now if you have a line here, if you go half the round all the way to here, this is 180, right? You know? 360. Very good. So if you get a line, you turn all the way, turn around and then go back to the same place. You get 360, right? Now you have four equal parts here. So what is the degree for each of these subparts? In total, you have 360 degrees. 90. Very good. So 360 divided by 4. Yes, it is a right angle. Now for right angle, we have a very special mark for it. It's a two straight line. Alright, so it is a right angle. Now, this right angle, so it means if you have a 90-degree subpart here, it takes up how many parts of the whole? If we want to represent it as a fraction, what fraction does this represent? For this part. So 90 out of 360, right? After you do the simplification, you obtain 1 over 4.
What?
Yeah, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. And you take out one part of it. So it's 1 over 4. So that means if there is a right angle in your pie chart, now this subpart you take out 1 over 4 out of the total, right? Okay, now you can try out question 8 by yourself. You now know 90 degrees take up 1 over 4 out of the total.
90 is 114, right? This is the whole circle. So you got two whole circle total. So these two together is how much of the whole circle? Over 2. And the next one. So find out the number. Oh, actually, the total number of people. Okay, the total swimming lesson, you know how much the whole.
Okay, now put your pens down. Let's take a look at the question. First of all, what fraction of the children choose swimming and basketball? Okay, this actually, what fraction in total, including swimming and basketball? Alright, okay, that's the part of the question, right? So that's a mistake in the question. So actually the question is asking what fraction of the children choose swimming and basketball together as their favorite sport? So you see swimming and basketball together, this take up 2 of this 90 degree. So it take up how much of the total? Actually take up half of the total, right? See, you have a circle. Now this one, you have a straight line here. Why straight line? Because these two, they are all 90 degree, right angle. So this half circle, you see half circle. So it takes up half of the circle. So the fraction here is 1/2. Alright. Then question B, how many children choose swimming as their favorite sport? Now, how to find out the number of students who like swimming? Listen. Yeah, very good. So Richard said, here you see in this half circle, the total amount of students is 30 plus 120. That is 120 plus 30 equals to 150 number of students. So that means for half of a circle, the number is 150. Then for this half, what is its value? See? 150 also. Then how do I find out the amount of students who like swimming? Yeah, 150 divided by 2, and you'll get 75. So 75 is the answer. Right? So that'll be all for today's lesson. Okay, I'll give you half a minute to do the correction, alright? Alright, you all finished, right? So let's take a look at your homework. Let me see. Alright. Yay. Alright, so today's homework, same to last week, but For the question explanation, explain to your parents how to solve question 8, right? The last question.
I already knew this.
What?
Just now, after you finished solving the math question, I was thinking that it was going to be question 8.
Oh, why?
Because
Yeah, so okay. So explain question 8 to your parents, alright? That'll be all for the homework. Now try out for after class quiz. There you go. There you go.
question
Two question only.
8. What?
Mm.
So weird.
It would be, I think it would be quite easy for you. So just go back home earlier. Oh, remember you need to do the correction for the last lesson homework. Okay. So after your after class quiz, do the corrections.